Welcome back to the watch list. Time to take a closer look at the automotive industry. We've gotten plenty of sales numbers from the likes of General Motors and new delivery data from the EV makers, including Tesla and Rivian and BYD, for example. Our panel is ready. Olivier Blanchard's with us, Research Director at Futurum Group, and Ivan Feinseth, Senior Partner, Chief Investment Officer, Director of Research at Tigris Financial Partners. Thank you both for being with us. Ivan, I'll start with you. Your thoughts? I mean, you've always been a fan of certain automakers, that's for sure. Which ones stand out to you as winners and why?
Well, I still like GM and I still like Rivian. GM's, they completed their negotiation with the UAW. It is an impact of about $500 per car, but on an average selling price of $40,000, it's not that prohibitive. So they were able post that to raise their dividend and initiate a new share repurchase and guide higher for cash flow. They had a great 2023 with near record deliveries exceeding 2019's pace. I think that the overall industry for U.S. domestic sales should be up. I say better than the 2% year over year they're projecting. I say it's going to be closer to 16 million total rather than 15 point, let's say 6 million total, because I think that we will see some interest rate relief, at least by the second half of this year. Jobs remain strong, and with jobs, you need cars to commute to work. And people, when they have a job, they tend to buy a car. So I think that there's a lot more tailwinds building than headwinds, and the headwinds are abating. And I thought Rivian had a great delivery quarter, and they continue to ramp up production. I think that announcement with Amazon to remove the exclusivity was going to allow them to make deals with other commercial operators, and they did. Shortly thereafter, they announced a deal with AT&T, and I think we will see other commercial deals with Rivian's delivery trucks and pickups as well. So I think Rivian is where Tesla was a few years ago, about to ramp up to this major adoption and production ramp up phase.
All right, Olivier, your thoughts. Names that stand out to you and why?
Yeah, so first of all, I agree with everything that was just said. That was spot on. It's amazing. GM maintained its top spots market share wise. Actually, they grew it a little bit. And I hate to admit it because I'm not bullish on Tesla, or I don't want to be bullish on Tesla, but they had an excellent 2023. So I think overall, I think the main two things are that number one, the auto industry had a great year despite economic tailwinds or headwinds rather in Europe, in China, in the United States. It did a lot better than a lot of people thought it would. But Tesla especially, I thought was going to have a rough year, and they didn't. They actually increased production. I think they delivered almost 500,000 vehicles in the last quarter alone. It was almost 2 million vehicles in the past year. It's 35 and 38% growth, respectively. I think they've done super well, and they've cut costs, right? But yeah, their expansion of production and the amazing half that they had in Europe, where they basically the Model Y outsold pretty much every other competitor by 300%, was just wild. Yeah, Tesla's doing well.
So yeah, and to your point, I mean, the deliveries, the total 1.8 million, and actually the outlook, one of the estimates I heard for 2024 would be 2.1 million. Slower growth, right? You had BYD for the first time really surpassing, well, it depends on which metric you're looking at, first or second time. But BYD now in a faster growth phase, but still not the likes of Tesla yet. It doesn't have the same footprint. But when you think about Rivian had a little bit of a miss on their quarterly deliveries, Ivan.
A tiny bit, but they're in this growth and adoption phase, and they're doing it better. Let's say they were able to learn from Tesla, and so I don't think it was a miss. It was a miss to some like arbitrary, if you will, consensus number. But I think they did a great job, and people love these trucks. They have a very long pipeline of demand, and they're going to continue to ramp up production. And the other side of the electric delivery van, moving beyond the 100,000 unit commitment from Amazon, opens up a huge opportunity for them.
Okay. And where, Olivier, where's the demand for 2024? We know the big three are pulling back on making EVs a little bit, but where is the demand? What are consumers wanting for 2024?
They want Teslas, I think. And yeah, to Ivan's point, Rivian is also doing really well. I mean, they're a very small player when you look at just in terms of scale. They're not quite there yet. But I think, yeah, people are looking for EVs. The EV sales are still strong. You still have a mix between the hybrids and the pure battery powered EVs. But you're looking at 9-10% market growth. I think that's going to continue. Definitely super strong in Europe. And yeah, we've seen some adjustments. I wouldn't necessarily say that there's a pullback, but there's an adjustment in the mix of which types of vehicles that are EV powered or that electric vehicles are going to be ramping up production versus scaling back. So it's a question of just adjusting to actual public demand.
Olivier Blanchard, Ivan Feinseth, thank you both so very much.